Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. You're welcome again to Morning Spring today on Western Spring Television. And this is the week starting edition of the program where we look into everything that has to do with the progress of this great nation called Nigeria, matters arising in the state of the nation. And of course, we look at the headlines on our major dailies, then we get talking after that, and that is exactly what we are going to do today. We are back. I am Femi Ojo. Evelyn is there.
Yes, I am Evelyn. Good morning, Femi. How are
Yeah.
you doing? I am Evelyn Ohiolei. Welcome, everyone.
You are right with you are Evelyn now. Or was there a change of name at the weekend that I'm not aware of?
Nah.
Okay, all right.
Even if there was a change of name, it's not going to be the first name, by the way. Hello, everyone. Welcome on board to the first edition of Morning Spring for this week. We are delighted to have you on board.
Yes,
and
we
of
are.
course, today's edition is going to be awesome. So many things to talk about. And of course, you know that we start with the newspaper review, checking through the dailies, what we have, what has gone on, what they are reporting, so that you, our esteemed viewers, can be better informed, staying abreast of the situation across the country and beyond. Welcome on board.
Of course, welcome on board. By the way, let me ask, how was your weekend? How did you use your weekend?
Well, it was a restful one for me, I should
Okay.
say, except for the Saturday. But of course, I mean, it was just okay. It was a weekend. No Owambe, no partying.
Ha!
I just had some, works to do here and there, but it was all good overall.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough.
You?
For some of us, it was a weekend that weekended.
Oh.
Really. It was what it was supposed to be, by the way.
Any Owambe?
What?
Any party?
Full Owambe. Full day. Full weekend.
Hope you followed the advice given by the Senate President.
That
if you
what?
see anywhere they are sharing free food, please chukedo, just enter.
Talking about Gosela Pabio, the Senate President, and his sarcastic way of giving advice. It's one thing that for you to trust the intent of somebody's advice, either as a humor or something that he means. But for Gosela Pabio, you can't really pinpoint if actually he's serious, especially when he's talking to Nigerians, really. And it's just the way it is. Anywhere they are sharing free food, well, fair enough. But one would say, is that what you people have turned us to? To be living on handouts, to be sniffing around for aroma in people's kitchen, and to be looking for parties, occasions where you are not invited, because the policy of the government that is part of has made people to be more vulnerable, actually, because that's what it means. Actually, so where does this put people's dignity? Actually, it's not about dignity for him. And that is why he's always sarcastic whenever he's talking, and he's looking like everything that comes out of Gosela Pabio's mouth, with due respect, is all about mockery and, taking Nigerians as a joke. Really, anywhere you see free food, will he? How Nigerian is Gosela Pabio, than you? Is in Nigeria more than I am? I'm not talking about his position. Of course, there are privileges to where he has found himself, or where he is currently right now. Because there were rumors that have been issued. That ticket that he's using right now, he didn't even, vie for it. But then the court has said otherwise, and it's fair. He's okay. We abide by the rulings of the court, and that one has gone. But now he's saying Nigerians, anywhere you see free food, just go into the place. Where is that person's dignity as a person? Whenever Gosela Pabio just open his mouth to say something, just know he's about to denigrate, and that's what he has done.
Of course, the Senate president actually has a trail of statements he has made that a lot of people consider insensitive.
Yeah, of course.
And worst off is he makes those statements in the hallowed chamber of, the National Assembly, the upper chamber, on a seat as Senate president.
Yeah.
Some people feel, okay, if Senator Akpabio had said this, maybe probably in the comfort of his living room,
Yeah.
it wouldn't really carry
yeah.
weight the way it is. People wouldn't really take it serious because he's talking as Godswill Akpabio.
yeah.
But on that seat in the upper chamber, he's talking as the Senate president of Nigeria. And if he keeps on making insensitive statements, it only proves the kind of leadership he is giving to Nigerians. Because really, it is mockery taken too far. If, as a Senate president, the number 3 person in the entire nation, you sit on that elevated seat of the Senate president and you keep on churning out insensitive statements to people who are going through hard times. I mean, it's one thing to catch cruise. Nigerians catch cruise, but you sitting on that seat, making those insensitive statements, it actually shows the kind of person he is and the kind of leadership he's providing.
Exactly. And what exactly the kind of talk, possibly when there is no plenary, the kind of conversation that will be happening among them. Now, if the cameras are there, people's representatives are there, and this is kind of things he keeps saying on that seat. Now imagine where there is no plenary. So whatever protest, whatever things, whatever interview, whatever programs we're having like this, people like him and others like him in that particular place, then you know that they take it with a pinch of salt.
It means people don't take them seriously.
When fuel price has just risen to at least above 1,000 naira, and it has thrown people into more confusion. There are fathers that are losing their dignity and responsibility because the kind of money they are making is not enough to show that their responsibility, and they are looking for what to do. But the number 3 person is saying, wherever you see free food, go and eat, because you cannot provide for yourself again. So whatever opportunity you have, just like you guys, you go and scavenge anything available.
I'll just say that he has turned Nigerians to animals, because that's what it is.
Really,
that's
anywhere, no sense of dignity. You can imagine possibly the US president or any of the governors telling an American that wherever you see free food, you guys, you should go and eat. He will have it. But, they know that there is nothing that the people will do. But I'm sure they shouldn't be too sure again, because Nigerians are being pushed. See the cliff, see Nigerians, and you can never know. Now, when tension is gathering, these are the kind of people that will tell Nigerians, or that will tell the people, protest does nobody any good. You guys should not gather. And then you see the agencies of the government coming out with intelligence reports. It's not even his fault. How about my representative and your representative? If actually the Senate president is saying that, how about somebody objecting and say,
of course, every one of them laughed. I saw the clip, and when he made that statement, every one of them laughed.
So it's not just about Godswill Akpabio. It's about an institution, an arm of the government that has seen the people finish, the way we say it in Nigerians. I'm not sure that will always go on for long, because Nigerians are being pushed. But then, it's ours to bring this thing to the fore that you guys should be, it's bad enough that you are living large. Now, rubbing it in the face of the people and say, you guys can go scavenge on anything available. I'm not sure that's the kind of Nigerians, the forefathers that begged and did everything for, for what's it now? Independence. I'm not sure this is what they envisage. And for the proponents of democracy, they should be turning in their grave right now that this is what we are left with. This is Morning Spring, by the way. We'll go on this quick break. When we return, the program will continue. Stay with us. Starting the newspaper segment with the newspaper, The Guardian, for today, The Guardian newspaper. And it has these: uncertainty over minimum wage execution as state governments falter. Uncertainty over minimum wage execution as state governments falter. We have the picture of the president, Godswill Akpabio, that we just talked about, the Senate president there. The Minister of Labor, Minister of State for Labor, Nkiru Onyejocha, and the labor leaders, Ajero, and OC4. The pictures are there, and these are the decision makers. Uncertainty over minimum wage execution. Our state governments, Falter. I don't understand. There are state governments that have been making statements, by the way. I think Kogi did that, and Edo has been, paying 70,000 even before, that agreement. And I think a couple of states again had said, I think I hear that's one on those states.
Yeah,
I think 72,005 or something around. Yeah.
73.
And many of them, many like Osun State, many persons are waiting. What we Governor Adeleke, say it will be the minimum wage for workers in the state. But then talking about the state on one side, how about the federal government that agreed the 70,000 till now? At least as at yesterday night. Now, what are they really paying?
And of course, we had the Jigawa State Governor who suspended one of his aides. That's Governor Umar Namadi suspending his special advisor on salary and pensions for making a premature announcement on the minimum wage. I mean, when I saw the story, I was like, okay, he made a premature statement or announcement on the minimum wage. Does it have to get to suspending him? I mean,
yeah, maybe he didn't have clearance. He was just an assistant.
Yeah.
And so why would you let your principal do the talking?
Yeah, but then it doesn't have to get to suspension.
Well, it is what it is.
A query is enough.
Okay, I'm not sure you are part of the Jigawa State government.
I'm not, but I saw the story yesterday, and I understand the kind of misinformation and the kind of confusion it would have caused in the state.
So the state executive now, have they come out?
A lot of of course, they said the panel set up as they have not really.
There's a panel for that.
Yeah, set up to look into that. So
all right.
I mean.
It is what it is.
A lot of people would have jubilated that the new minimum wage is not put at maybe above 70,000. Meanwhile, the governor had not cleared for that to happen.
Of course, he didn't have a clearance.
Yeah.
He went, ahead of himself, on that particular one. Now, PDP crisis deepened. By the way, he was just suspended. It's not that his appointment was terminated. Just suspension.
Just suspension,
yeah,
really?
PDP crisis deepens. Mohammed takes charge, demands swift action. PDP as a party, as a party that the NWC or thereabout, with the acting chairman suspended the publicity secretary, and the publicity secretary in turn suspended the chairman and the secretary. I'm sure, I said it, people that propose democracy to Nigeria, wherever they are, I'm not sure they'll be happy wherever they are. They should be turning, Publicity secretary suspended chairman. Chairman suspended PopSec suspended chairman and the secretary in the same party. And they said the NWC, they have people that are supporting them on both sides.
Yeah.
What a party. Now, vacation. Return home. Citizens confused about your policies. CSOs urge Tinubu. And IMF slashes borrowing costs by 36%, lowers country's exposure by $1.2 billion yearly. To some persons, this will seem like a good news, but to me, it is not. Because when they are slashing the borrowing thing, it's more like, okay, it's like you guys can't borrow anymore. Let's reduce the interest rate so that you can borrow more. These are the issues. And the people that will always be trapped in this particular, concoction, it will be the third world countries and the developing, so-called developing countries. And here, importers decry 25 million clearance for 40-feet container. I saw a news, I think on social media, where somebody said he used to clear a particular, I think this same 40-feet container with a particular figure, and now it has risen far above what it used to be to that particular price. And the person said he, as an importer, he doesn't have an issue because his own is just to import.
Of course,
whatever he clears with, the commuters, the businessmen will be the one to pay. These are the issues. But then, for him, he might not clear as many that we would have loved to clear, but then because he doesn't have any investment in it, it's just his sales parties. I used to clear for 1 million naira before. It has become 10 million naira now. My own is still clear. I will still pay the 10 million naira. The businessmen that have imported will be the one to go and source for whatever millions that we used to clear, and who will be the one to pay the people that the last, customer on that particular ladder. And here, reverse petrol price, pending court verdict, Sarah tells Tinubu. All right. Quickly before I come to you, vacation, return home. Citizens confused about your policies. CSOs urge Tinubu. And there was this post by Bayo Nonuga, who is now going full blast because there's no more Algeria, by the way.
Ngalale, yeah.
And now, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
is the man in charge right now at all ramification, not about the information and strategy, even media as a spokesperson doing the work, fine. And then the tone, I wish I can get that particular tweet where he said, about people that are talking about how the president is using his leave. It's not their take, it's his private leaves. Private leave, and he can choose to do whatever he wants anywhere. Oh dear, I wish I can get that particular tweet. And the people are saying, excuse me, what's with that tone? Actually, maybe before we finish the last segment, there was that tweet, and it was quite confrontational. People were saying, nobody is fighting with you, Mr. Ononuga. Nigerians are just saying one or two things about him, and you have to say it is private time, he's on his annual leave, he can choose to be in whatever country that he likes, and nobody should really bother him. Really? Somebody living on Nigeria, really being paid for by, of course, that's one of the perks of his office. He's taking care of Nigerian people's money. And Nigerian people are asking, where's our president? Why is he in this country today? And why will he be in another country? And the spokesperson said, as our Igbo brothers would say, it's more like Michonu. It's not your people's business. You can choose. I'm wishing that there will be a day that Keir Starmer, or Joe Biden before he leaves, or Mr. Macron in France, will come to Nigeria and be John Kenting around. These are some of the issues. We will be happy that, okay, Nigeria is working. But he's always our leaders. Their private time. And Mr. Bayo Ononuga has told us, Nigerians, you people should be careful. And we heard as well, the presidency has told people that are calling the president unwanted names that start with T and P, you people should be careful. So we are warning you people as well. Evelyn, over to you.
Of course, reading that tweet from Bayo Onanuga here, saying President Tinubu is on leave for 2 weeks. He is not restricted to the UK. It is his private time. He can go to anywhere he so desires. He is still observing his leave. And a lot of people were actually looking at the tone in which he delivered that particular statement. By the way, the president was supposed to go on a 2 weeks leave, and today is what? 14. So by tomorrow, we expect the president, or next tomorrow, to be coming back to the country. Already? Yes, it's 2 weeks. He went, I think, immediately after, on October 1 or October 2, either of those days. So 2 weeks plus 14, that's 15,
you are
16.
Keeping tabs on
of course, I mean, when it's past 2 weeks, Mr. Bayo Onanuga should come out with this combative tone and tell us that, oh, the president has the right to extend his leave and he doesn't owe anybody his explanation.
Exactly.
We're still waiting for Mr. Bayo Onanuga to say that. All right, let's move over to Nigerian Tribune at this time. On Nigerian Tribune, why Damagum should go. This is coming from Bode George with the Riders. Accuses PDP of violating its constitution. Says interim chairman can only act for 90 days. Yayari takes over party, insists on October 24 for NEC. Tasks North Central to submit nominee to top post. Other headlines here on Nigerian Tribune. Senate threatens works minister. Head of service, others with a warrant of arrest. And I think this is related to them not granting they were summoned to, come answer some questions, and they have not honored that invitation. NDLEA arrests Thailand returnee with 3.1 billion naira heroin concealed in 6 bags at Lagos airport. 3.1 billion naira worth of heroin. Diaspora groups commend Adeleke over mining reform, governance initiative, and many feared killed. Police station set ablaze over alleged killings, organ harvesting in Edo. All right, Edo State is also one state that is currently going through tension, political tension, and some other social tension, and we hope that the Inspector General of Police, Egbetokun, can actually look into these so they can calm the tension in Edo State. Nigerians go for lower quality goods as inflation, devaluation, fuel prices escalate cost of living. Companies record high values but low volume of sales. I mean, it's expected. It's just normal economics. It's expected that people will prioritize what is needed and people will want to go for lower quality goods. I told someone that a lot of people are not even on balanced diet anymore. People just want to fill their tummy. They don't want to know if it contains the necessary nutrients or not. And gone are the days where you ask your child, are you sure you're okay? You're satisfied? Do you need more? Now, anything mommy dishes, anything daddy dishes, just eat, drink lots of water, and go and sleep. That's the condition we find ourselves in this country. And of course, you can hear the Senate President with that insensitive statement asking Nigerians to live like scavengers, to live like animals. Anywhere they're sharing free food, please just put your mouth there because times are hard. And you might want to ask the Senate President, how much of free food have your own children eaten? How much of free food have your own grandchildren eaten? Or how much of free food have you yourself eaten? You're living off the nation's commonwealth and you dare make a statement as insensitive as that to the Nigerian populace. I mean,
many will say in a functional democracy with representatives, senators like himself, who are of conscience, that is an impeachable. That is worth being an impeachable offense for him to be removed from that seat because that is undignified. It's ignoble. Such a statement coming from number 3 citizen, in this country in terms of office, and we have said it repeatedly, occupying that exalted. I'm not sure it's that exalted again because the personality of some of those persons occupying some offices have brought down the noble status of what that should be. By the way, there were conferences, there were seminars that were given to political leaders when they were coming in. And for somebody like Akpabio, he has been a 2-time governor. So he's not a stranger to power. But then, alas, what they say about a person's personality, maybe it's always there, and that is what it is. You can't, I'm not sure in America, in England, in France, even in South Africa, a leader of theirs will tell them, because of what is going on, anywhere you people can find food, go and eat. And that person will still return to plenary tomorrow without anything. And he's just like you said, he has an history of always denigrating. And whenever even some of his members as well, he will now come when the heat is much and say, oh,
I apologize.
I apologize.
I didn't mean it that way.
And the way he apologizes
I was taken out of context.
The way he apologizes, if you people think is
conditional apology. And that's no apology.
Because I'm a person of integrity.
Conditional apology is not apology. You don't apologize and say, if what I said made you feel, apologize for what you did because what you did is wrong. But by the way, some people will say we're already used to that kind of statements coming out from Akpabio's mouth, Senator Akpabio's mouth. By the way, Apis Oyema claims innocence as U.S. indicts him over alleged $20 million bank fraud. Top corner, Nigerian Tribune, Edo government writes Okpebola, APC on formation of transition committee, and PDP blasts Fubara, says he rejected offer to control river structure. Hints Rivers governor, PDP GF boss, may face anti-party activities charge, and concedes main opposition can lose state. That will be all from Nigerian Tribune this morning.
From the Tribune to the Punch newspaper, very quickly, the Punch newspaper, import duty. Federal government may ground 60 private jets today. Import duty, federal government may ground 60 private jets today with a rider. Talk bank chairman, business moguls affected. NAMA gets list of affected planes. All right. And here we have these talking about the Punch newspaper right now. Federal government, Italy finalized talks on 34 new fighter jets. Federal government, Italy finalized talks on 34 new fighter jets on the Punch newspaper. Cooking gas Price jumps to 1,500 naira per kilogram. There is no day that Nigerians will go ask scavenge for wherever they have food right now. Because even for those that have food, how would they have it cooked? You know, if you say you should use firewood, the government will come back and be talking about green emission, climate change. And by the way, many persons have said Africa should not be, nobody should talk about and talk with us on anything that has to do with climate change. Because if there is any continent that has, you know, affected the ozone layer, it should be a continent that has been heavy on industrialization and production and manufacturing. How many of these things are African done in the next 100 years?
Yeah.
These are the issues as well. 1,500 naira per kilogram, Mr. Fabio. All right. And NDLEA nabbed Thailand returnee with 3 billion naira drugs. Bad. Not that he has been caught to engage in such activity is what I mean by that is bad. Now that he's caught, he's okay, but he's not somebody moving 3 billion naira worth of drugs. Nobody needs to tell you that that kind of a person cannot be doing that alone. 3 billion naira worth of drugs. Now, Obaseki, Okwebolow's transition panels discuss handover today as well. But, you know, talking about the one particular story I took, federal government, Italy, finalized talks on 34 new fighter jets. All right, fine, to combat banditry and insurgency. But many Nigerians will say, where are the Tucano jets that we bought for millions of dollars? And now we are hearing there is a way you can use it, there is a way you cannot use it. How come something that we have issues in using? Why did we invest so much money on that? And many of those Tucano jets, they are kind of weapons, by the way, that you don't get to purchase over the counter. You make your bid, you go through all the international protocols, you make payments, and you wait for years before you can have it. And now that we have it, all right. Moving on, God never plans suffering for Nigerians, Obasanjo. Evelyn, maybe I should read it again. God never planned suffering for Nigerians, Obasanjo. So, who is the one inflicting pains on Nigerians? Nigerians, we ask the same Mr. Obasanjo and many of the leaders that have ever, you know, governed this country to say. So, where did you people download suffering for Nigeria from? And by the way, interesting. And Dangote meets marketers Tuesday over new petrol price. Come through, Mr. Dangote. Benin, Togo, owe Nigeria $5.7 million electricity debt. Anyhow saved. I think we are used to hearing this. PDP crisis, Damagun camp, anti-Wike governors may clash today. All the best to PDP. That'll be all from the Punch.
And let's take up Daily Trust newspaper. Daily Trust newspaper, the big, bold caption there is on the Lagdo Dam. High-risk states brace for floods. And with double riders, NIMET predicts thunderstorms, moderate rains in Taraba. Borno, others. Governments ask residents to relocate. Relocate to where? I mean, if you're asking them to relocate, then you might as well provide probably a makeshift home for them or somewhere they can put up with, especially for those who do not have anywhere to go to. There might be those who can have you know, relatives to go put up with for the meantime, but there are those who have nobody, and I think the government should look into that. Set up IDP camps. And severe malnutrition rises by 51% in North. Severe malnutrition rises by 51% in North. And, you know, I mentioned earlier that a lot of people are not eating, they're not concerned about balanced diet right now. In fact, a lot of people do not even know the classes of food anymore. They just know one class of food, and that is food that fills the belly. And on Daily Trust, Nigeria not on ballot for UN Human Rights Council poll, says presidency. Fulani known for peace, not violence, Emir of Zazao speaks. And truck crushes couple, one other to death in Ogun State. That's a sad one. And of course, we also had that sad incident in Lagos State where a moving train crushed a 50-year-old man in Lagos State. May their souls rest in peace. Top corner, PDP governors meet over party's crisis today. Ipman hopes for lower price as talks with Dangote begin. Amidst 27 million housing deficit, many estates unoccupied in Abuja, and I can actually confirm this, Femi. There are some places you get to in Abuja, and you look through all the houses there, and you see these houses, they are not being occupied.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're not being occupied for now. You will see that these are houses that have been left for years.
Just built and abandoned.
Exactly. So what's the why do we always have that? I mean, 27 million housing deficits. We have that, and we still have many estates unoccupied in Abuja. The government should look into this and see if these estates, of course, they may be private properties, but then some of them, I have a feeling that some of those estates are, houses given to government officials for one thing or the other that they're not using. But I think investigation should be on it, and let's see what we can do with that. If it's to move all the IDP people into those estates.
Into somebody's property.
But of course, that's a joke.
Yeah.
That will be all from Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And for the newspaper review segment, thank you so much for being part of this. We'll take this breather. When we come back, it took a time to talk to issues affecting us as a country. You do not want to miss this conversation, because we have a critical stakeholder who will be making sense of what Nigeria has become. Morning Spring will be right back. Do not move a muscle.